So today we're going to be looking at strikers across every budget. Starting with the low tier, we're looking at 0 to about 200, 150 give or take. Now, when we look at a lot of the cheaper strikers, I must admit some are going to be pretty decent. Obviously, if you was to look at someone like a Suarez, it's not necessarily the 90 rated that you've got, but in fact, with the strike force that you could have added onto him, he most definitely would have been one of the absolute top tier. Now, obviously that has gone, but when you do look at the strike force across any of the players that were involved in that era of it, they would have been incredible. They would be one of the top metas in there. Now, I can't obviously include every single evolution because naturally there'd be too many. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. But as he was the kind of most popular, and that was an evolution that was pretty much just a standpoint of strikers with the triple play star plus, it only felt right to include him. Now we are getting into some team of the seasons, which are very nice in themselves. Obviously, if you do look across the team of the seasons we've got, there is a lot of very cheap players. When we look at someone like a Jonathan David, for instance, he's coming in right at the bottom at 66,000 coins, which is always nice. And the stats are pretty decent. He's got himself the triple play star plus with the finesse, the rapid, and the first touch. He also has himself then the 5-star, 4-star, or the 4-5, whichever way you want to put that around. And stats wise, I mean, you've got 90s on everything you need. So we are at a point now already where stats are obviously important always, but they're not necessarily the biggest thing in the game now. Most players, as you'll see, literally 90 pace. For someone like De Jong, Luka De Jong should not have 90 pace in a virtual game as such. So the fact that he's got 90 pace already at 93 tells you what you need to know really. Suarez has 90. We have 99, 96, 94, let alone the shooting. Everybody around the 92 to 94 zone, as well as then the dribbling. Most in-game stuff is pretty much there. You might get a few different here and there, like obviously you look at the composure side of stuff. If we went to De Jong, because he's obviously considerably cheaper, we are looking at 93. Agility balance is there. The only differences you'll find now is pretty much height, then obviously kind of plate style pluses, roll pluses, and naturally how well they are in the game. So that's kind of where you see the prices. And naturally as we get more team of the seasons, they will obviously kind of dip down even more. Nunez and also Endrick. Now, Endrick, I personally just like in general. I think he's got a very good body type. He works really well as a backup striker. I don't think he's a sole striker, a solo striker in my opinion. I think the likes of Nunez, the likes of Suarez could handle that, but I don't think Endrick does as well. In my opinion, I think he plays the right wing better. Having like, say for instance, if you took the Real Madrid trio, you'd have Endrick on the right, you'd have Mbappe up front, and left wing would be Vinny. That would work the balance. Just having, say, a Rodrigo and Endrick and a Vinny, I think Endrick struggles as a solo striker without a secondary partner. But you could get the best out of him if you play that way. Nunez is one of my favourites in games. I do think it was the same last year. Once he gets his upgrade that he kind of needs, he will be unbelievable. Now, he's got himself the double play star plus the rapid, the finesse, which is good enough as it is. 4-star, 4-star. It's good enough. But in game, I just think he is absolutely incredible. He's one of them types where he's got the build, he's got obviously the physicality, but the pace and the shooting as well. We saw it last year with obviously the 98. It was an impeccable card. Once he got up there, and we've been waiting a while, and to be honest, this time as well we've been waiting a while. He's more than likely not getting into a team of the season, so we're going to have to either evolve him ourselves or potentially wait for a footies or something else. Now, obviously, we move up through the rankings. We're at about 250 to 500 at the moment. And these are just hand-picked players that I think are worth at least having a look at. Or if you've got them, worth putting in. Now, there's a few kind of wild shouts, like I love Rooney in game, but I feel like there's a bit of bias there. Like, realistically, I'm more than likely choosing Haaland. Probably even Griezmann, definitely Gerd Muller. Martinez is about the same, but I do think as a quality striker, Rooney and Martinez are phenomenal. As an in-game realistic, like, are you going to choose them over Haaland? Are you going to choose them over, like, a Jonathan David? Like, realistically, Jonathan David's probably got the better output for the price that you're actually paying. Whereas the Leaos, the Griezmanns, they are absolutely incredible in-game. Puskás is one that I've just thrown in here because, to be honest, I'm a little bit let down this year from him. He got himself the Team of the Year, which is fantastic, absolutely brilliant for him. But realistically, the card is just very mid when it comes to what we remember from Puskás. And to be honest, I feel like last year was probably about the same. We got, obviously, the 4-star, 3-star that was okay, but it wasn't until Golazo that we got a future upgrade for him. I was kind of hoping we'd get the same for him in the Immortals. I thought that would have been where Puskás kind of shines a little bit. We obviously waited till FUT Birthday last year, so unfortunately we are more than likely going to have to wait till the end of the game now because there's going to be no icons during Team of the Season, or at least that is what we're led to believe. So whether that does change or not, we will see. Obviously, Leao, Griezmann, obviously incredible. We do have the brand new Ligue 1 striker that, to be fair, she does look pretty incredible. Now, there's definitely a few decent players that we've got going on in Ligue 1. She's actually kind of coming in at 320 at the moment now, so everybody's gone up that little bit more. Pace is absolutely there. Low driven and finesse. Low driven has become the new thing. Like, the amount of people that just slot a low driven is unbelievable. So that is definitely a broken shot if you can take the kind of note and almost exploit it that little bit more. Shooting wise, incredible. Passing, dribbling. You're going to get the standard. I can't keep saying that all the stats are great, but you throw in the roles. Obviously, you're looking for the advance forward. It's the only thing that she doesn't have. And what's quite funny, really, we've got a striker or a centre mid. Now, at first glance, when I saw her yesterday, I kind of thought, why has she got 80 defending? For a striker, that is pretty high up there. Like, most strikers are looking at 50, 60, 53, and yet 80 is very good. Like, you throw a Sentinel or something on that, you're going to get yourselves a pretty solid centre mid card, and obviously, she can play centre mid, so there's just something extra that you can do with her. And then, obviously, Gerd Muller's another one that, in terms of a triple playstyle plus, you kind of been overshadowed a little bit by quadruple playstyle pluses, but most definitely still a well worth investment for the SBC, especially because we can get fodder so much easier now. Like, Team of the Season is beautiful. The amount of 91 and 92 duplicates I've already got, it makes these sorts of squads absolute piece of cake. So definitely utilize that as much as possible because you're not going to get many. More than likely we'll see, like we kind of see with the Thuram, you're going to get a lot of 91s and, to be honest, probably even 92s before too long. Then we'll throw in ourselves to the 500,000 to the 1,000,000 coins. This is where we kind of ramp up a little bit, and I don't necessarily spend a crazy amount of coins on a striker because naturally you kind of get them untradeable more than anything. I feel like most people, let me know, are you still rocking at least one tradable card? Is it just one tradable card that you've turned a blind eye to, like say we say a Team of the Year Mbappe, and you're just kind of like, okay, well, that's technically untradeable now. Let me know if you are running with any sort of tradable cards, because I think my untradeable team is pretty much from day dot. Other than maybe I've bought a player to go into an evolution, which is now untradeable. It's probably the only way at this point. So we do look at it. We've obviously got Kane and Lewandowski. Now, a lot of these cards are going to get into Team of the Seasons as well. Kane, most definitely. I believe Lewandowski's probably done enough. And at the minimum, even if they didn't, they were probably going to get moments. Or an SBC at the very minimum, because just of their name and stature. But it will be interesting to see, because both of them being 95 already, meaning they've got to be up there with a 96, a 97, a minimum. Like, it's got to be 97 realistically. I think last year we had the same thing with Kane. He got up to a 93 and then obviously got up to a 97. Now obviously there is the quadruple playstyle plus. They could even get away and give him a quadruple and only make him 96, because naturally you'd get the stat upgrade, but you'd get 2 extra playstyle pluses. So they could add that as a way of kind of not going too crazy on that rating, and they could do the same for Lewandowski as well, depending on who's getting the playstyle pluses. As if you've looked at Ligue 1 and obviously the D1, you've got 1, 2, 3 cards, I think it is, with a quadruple. I think that is all we've got in general, because he doesn't, and I don't think anybody on the bench does. So it's a very limited amount of players at the moment. Whether we see that shift go forward, always be interesting. Few more players, obviously Drogba's an SBC, very much like our boy Gerd Muller. Great card if you want to grind him out. Again, lovely if you want to do him into an evolution at some point as well. Like we said, we've got 5-6 weeks of no team of the icons or heroes coming in because of the team of the season being there. It's going to be an interesting one to just grind them out and then potentially evo them straight after, but he more than likely will get another upgrade during the footies. Same with Zola and Raul, both phenomenal cards, whether you want to do them. I think Henry would definitely be one that I would consider, just because he is 1 rating lower as well, being 92 with a double playstyle plus. It gives you plenty of chance to get up to the 92 on evolutions and a triple and potential quadruple at some point. Marmoush, love the striker. I don't think there's too much said about him, to be honest. I am surprised he's kept his price that high, but still very, very good. Sophia Smith as well. Dropping below a mil already is insane, but a brilliant, brilliant striker. Hopefully in the NWSL she will get another one with a team of the season, and I think they are coming out during Serie A, which is the 3rd week. I want to say it goes Ligue 1, Prem, Serie A, I want to say Bundes La Liga or La Liga Bundes. It's in the Season 7 completionist, so you'll be able to see the order, but regardless, I'm pretty sure they come out with Serie A. Matteo, beautiful card again, coming in with the other striker in the D1, and she has got everything. Quadruple playstyle plus, the pace, the shooting, the dribbling, the passing, and even a bit of physicality. If my memory serves me right, it was only really the aggression that's considered a little bit lower. Everything else is pretty fantastic with her. And the one thing that we always like with a striker like this, very Messi-esque in terms of the dribbling, with that agility balance, could be a little bit better, but that is why we are going to go with the engine with her. 94-98 is much better. We've got the shooting down to a T. We've got the low driven, a bit of press proven for her strength. We've got the first touch and a rapid. It's a very, unless you've got the finesse instead of the low driven, it could have been the perfect card, and I think for 700 you're an absolute steal. Doumbia I've thrown in just because an evolution in the future could be nice, and whether he does get another upgrade anytime soon is probably unlikely, but Quick Step Finesse, with the stats that he's got to be mentioned. He's just got to be. Then we throw ourselves into the 1 million to 2 million cards. Now, there's not as many as these, and obviously as you do progress upwards, you realise it's a lot of the same players, and I think you could probably hazard a guess as such. Now, CR7 obviously has 2 different versions you could go for. There was the SBC that most people could get, or you could have got the team of the year. Now, obviously the team of the year, 1.6, 1.95 for the 93. So in general, you're kind of seeing the difference between them. There isn't a great deal other than a triple play star plus, which really is an acrobatic and then throwing yourself for a finesse or then a quick step for the rapid. I personally prefer the flashback, in my opinion. There is a chance of an evolution, which is going to be fantastic for him when he gets there. That card is going to be incredible. So I think you've got the better deal grinding out the SBC. And let's be real, how many people either did the Saudi upgrades or managed to get him from an upgrade? Mia Hamm obviously coming in at 1.8. is mainly because she could have gone into the Strike Force, very much like R9, who I should have definitely put in here. He is coming in. What is the 90 R9? 7.7. I mean, that's why he's most definitely not there. He is far too expensive. But Mia Hamm obviously can go into quite a few upgrades now. Being 89 rated, she has most definitely got the upgrades of a lifetime with this. You obviously have got the Hawk at the moment, but previous you could have put her into the 94 Strike Force. I believe so anyway. If I can find it a bit further down. You could have put her into quite a few, to be fair. So I don't know if she actually could have gone into it. I know R9 could have, so I'm assuming she could. But regardless, she's obviously going into a lot of SBCs. Quick step already. You're looking for the finesse. You're looking for a low driven. And naturally, as we do progress forward, she's going to be a card that is everybody's kind of want list. We do have Eto now. Eto most definitely looks decent as an SBC. He's coming in at 900, so he's not necessarily too expensive. Quick step into the power shot. The only thing I would have against Eto is the fact that he is 94 rated. It's not great for the evolution standpoint, especially when we are now getting triple and quadruple playstyle pluses. Whether that's going to hold him back, I love him as a striker. I think in-game, incredible. He's got 2 good playstyle pluses, so it's better to have 2 than to have 4 and 3 of them be absolutely rubbish. So you can kind of go across that line, but when you've got the arguments of people getting the quadruple and they are decent, then you've got to put the question up, is he really worth that 900,000? I would personally say no, but it is totally up to you. He is a very good player. It's just the price tag on him might be a bit too much for team of the season. Dalglish, obviously incredible as we know, 94 rated. This was the 5-star version. Because you could have put him into another version that would practically give him the same. We obviously did both. I didn't realise that I had him, so it is what it is. That review is on the channel. I forgot that I packed the 94 Dalglish, but regardless, he is still absolutely insane. The evolution is actually better just because of the triple playstyle plus, but in general, you could go for either. Ginola. Now, I like him still. I don't think I kind of put him here really just to kind of warrant away from him, to be fair. I think he's better in that cam role at the minute. If he was to get a revitalization, a shapeshifter, if you will, which we saw in previous years, and finally get that 98 that we've all been craving again, that would be much better for him than this card. As a striker, an out-and-out forward, not having a shooting play style plus at this level of the game just isn't enough. We love the 98 from last year, but we are still driving for this card. This was one of the best Ginola cards, probably even is the best Ginola card we've seen, and I just am waiting to that to be replicated again. And obviously everybody loves Son. Son's in plenty of evolutions, he's got multiple versions. This version is obviously incredible as well. You just absolutely love a bit of Son. And then finally, the best of the best. Now, prices range from stupid to more stupid to the most insane 15 mil coin cards. You are getting some of the most expensive cards on the game all in one, because naturally you just can't compete with these. They are 7 mil, 8 mil. You're looking at 15 mil for an R9 who is extinct. No matter the version of R9, it pretty much is expensive across the board, as you'd expect. R9, Henry, and Mbappe are the best strikers in the game. They're game winners, their playstyle pluses, their stats, their roles, their skill moves, their weak foots, all do the talking because they are that good. And yes, you could still argue that you could get away with a 400, a 500k player, but these players do give a slight advantage. Not necessarily much, because it is definitely the player. I could be a Division 10 player, have the best striking force going, and I still possibly couldn't beat a pro player, or even an elite player as such. Maybe not even pro players, to be honest. You could probably be Division 1 and still, you could probably be elite division and still lose to a pro player with this team. But say you was Division 10, you probably still couldn't even beat Division 2 or Division 1 at that point with this team. That's the advantage of the cards and the player. You need the skills to back it up as well. But in general, there is some incredible talent here. Most being icons, because we're only obviously in the first week of team of the season. Dembele, as much as I would like him more as a winger, he can play through the middle if you really wanted to. It's nice to have all of them roles, the right wing, the cam, and the striker. It gives him so much versatility in this. And then with the brand new quadruple playstyle plus, the only quadruple playstyle plus on this top list is always incredible. When you look at the plus, obviously you've got the cam, you've got a half winger, inside forwards, and also the advanced forward, all being plus. That's what I mean about the versatility. He already had the 5-star. The quadruple is absolutely brilliant. You've got pace, you've got 2 shooting, you've even got a passing that you didn't really need to have. It's an incredible card, and he will definitely be an expensive card still. Maybe drops off later on, but naturally right now, I think he stays up in incredible value. Obviously, the rest of them, we know the icons, Mia Hamm, Pele, Eusebio, even throwing in Bale as his 94 is a brilliant lower tier high card. And then obviously, Henry R9. Henry's probably the best version we've seen so far. He is an absolute dynamite up front, and to be honest, is the second most expensive. If Dembele is coming in at 6.9, Henry is obviously coming in at 7.2, and that is even with an SBC as well, 7.9 at the moment, so his fluctuations is going to be up and down. We have got the Cruyff and Pele that are cam strikers. I personally would like him as striker. If I'm paying that amount of money, they are getting goals for me. Obviously, Pele with the low driven and also Cruyff with the finesse, they can get the goals anywhere. And then finally, you obviously have got Mbappe. I mean, what more do you need to say? He is possibly my favourite. Him and R9 are the two best. I'd possibly just pinch R9 for the top. But when we do get the team of the season Mbappe, and then the footies, I'd say Mbappe is possibly the best. Even in the gold version at 216 still, he's still incredible. Team of the year, Dream Chasers, even if he went for the Thunderstruck, he's still gonna be insane. So let me know your strikers. Let me know down below. Subscribe, and I'll catch you all as well for the next one. And hopefully, Prem brings us some luck. Peace.